All right, so now the dependent t-test. We are not going to go into, we're not going to be able to go all the way through because there's not enough time left for us to do that, but I'm going to introduce you to it. And again, maybe I should say reintroduce you to it because you've already learned quite a lot about the dependent t-test in the lab. All right, now the first thing that you have to do is know, or I guess know, is that there are a lot of names for this test. And so you really do have to just memorize what are all the aliases for the dependent t-test. Some people call it the correlated t-test. Some, like SPSS, call it the paired t-test, or actually SPSS calls it the paired samples t-test. And yet others call it the repeated measures t-test. Frustrating, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm not the one who came up with all these different names. All right, what about hypotheses? Well, hypotheses are exactly the same as they were for the independent t-test. All right, so you can have directional and non-directional hypotheses. You can either, as the investigator, the experimenter, you can either say that, mu1 is going to be greater than mu2, or vice versa, and that would be directional. Or you can just simply say, hey, look, the means are going to be different. So mu1 is not equal to mu2. All right, so that we've gone through before, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that these hypotheses are the same as for the independent t-test. Checklist. All right, number 1, you have 2 samples or groups of participants. That's the same as the independent t-test, isn't it? So far, no difference. Number 2, you wish to see if the sample means are statistically different from each other. So you want to know, is X bar 1 significantly different from X bar 2? All right, so is there a treatment effect? So far, this is identical to the independent t-test. Number 3, you are not looking for what? Say it. The R word. You are not looking for the R word between scores. Number 4, now this is where we see a distinction from the independent t-test. Number 4 says the participants in group 1 are the same as those in group 2. In other words, your independent variable is within subjects. So remember when we were covering the independent t-test, we said whoever is in group 1 is an entirely different group of people compared to group 2. So if you have Peter, Paul, and Mary in group 1, Tom, Dick, and Harry in group 2, those are different groups of people. That is referred to as between subjects. When your independent variable has different people in each level, that's between subjects. But when they are the same people in each group, that's within. So you would have, for example, Peter, Paul, and Mary in group 1, Peter, Paul, and Mary in group 2. Now, you learned that in the SPSS lab on t-tests. But now I'm going to throw in one other little, not a monkey wrench, but just one other little yes, but. Okay, let's just throw it up there. It is possible for you to have different people in group 1 and 2, and it could still be a dependent t-test. If you have different people in group 1 and 2, they have to be paired or matched. And this is where, pairing or matching, I now need to define it. Okay? So again, with the independent t-test, we said we have different people in each group, and they have not been paired or matched. Now, what I'm saying is for the dependent t-test, you can have different people in each group, but then they have to be paired or matched. All right? So again, if you have different people in each group and they've been paired or matched, it's a dependent t-test. If you have different people in each group and they haven't been paired or matched, then it's an independent t-test. Okay? All right, well, this is a great place to stop, and we will pick up from this point for the second and I'm guessing final lecture of Chapter 8 on t-tests.